Good afternoon. Welcome to It's Your City. I say afternoon because this is our record time. You may be watching this in the morning or at your own convenience, but welcome anyhow. I appreciate being here today. Lots of things going on in Carson City right now, and most of them are really good. And so I want to just kind of give you a little update. First, let me start off with an apology. The Sheriff's Department this year had to cancel National Night Out. It's the first time in 12 years that we've been rained out. But in the end, just we'll call it about 12 hours before we were ready to kick off, there was just too much water, too much rain in the midst of this drought, and we felt that with all of the heavy equipment that our fire and our military and our businesses bring in to support National Night Out, it really would have caused a major problem to the park, especially after the weather cleared and the soccer players would have gotten onto the field. We just did not believe that it was in the best interest of the Parks Department or of Carson City. So we put it off till next year, and we hope to have you back and enjoy our National Night Out theme again. Up front, this is an opportunity right now. Yesterday I addressed the Board of Supervisors on how it's going in Carson City. It's a quarterly report that the board receives from all departments. Specifically from the Sheriff's Department, we were able to identify the last quarter, or call it our summer month trends, how things are going. And folks, I want to tell you, they're going very, very well. As the Department of Public Safety published its national crime rates for Nevada, which obviously feeds our national trends, Carson City was able to hone down to its lowest point in 20 years, and that being the 20 years of the same method of calculating crime rates. We dropped down significantly, and I'm very, very pleased about that. That's a solid signal of both the community and law enforcement and businesses all working together to create a much better town. That being said, as we look at the first 6 months of the year and the summer passing through, again, we have very, very strong signals that if our trends continue for the next 4 months, if you keep calling us for your suspicions, things that you think just don't look right, if our businesses keep drawing us in, we may be able to reach an even better year than in 2013. Currently, as of today, we're sitting right about 10% below the 2013 mark, which is just phenomenal. And it makes for a great place to live. It makes for a great place to raise a family, to retire in, or to open up a business. And our businesses do appear to be flourishing in Carson right now. We're seeing them open up all over, which brings up a very good, important point. As I'm sitting here speaking to you today, we are running traffic pedestrian walkway safety throughout Carson. We've been doing this for quite some time, and operations have stepped up a little bit this summer. It is, of course, as a result of some accidents that we've had, and looking for alternatives to make that walkway or that bicycle path a more safe place to be. And that doesn't just apply to downtown, although our operations are downtown. That applies community-wide. Our children are out riding bicycles. Our children, especially in neighborhoods, they tend to jump out into the street, maybe to catch a ball, maybe to run home, or whatever the case is. It's very, very important that when we drive defensively. And as we do that, we are very mindful and watchful of the pedestrians that are out, both young and older, and that we are prepared to stop and give yourself plenty of time. The best advice I can give to drivers: watch the speed limit, drive the speed limit, and be cautious of folks coming in from either side, and you'll probably be able to get to your destination very, very safely. Along that path, just night before last, I was able to stop with the NDOT crews up on Highway 50. They are working very, very rapidly on alterations that we suggested, Carson City suggested, that be made between Carson and Dayton. That highway was just getting horribly, horribly unsafe, and to have head-on collisions up there was becoming uncommon. In fact, at the last one that we had, Fire Chief Stacy Giomi was present with me on the scene, and he asked, when was this madness going to stop? Well, folks, I'm here to tell you, If you haven't driven that Highway 50 corridor lately, maybe you want to wait a little bit as they continue on with the construction. But the raised barriers in the middle of the highway are just about complete on the Carson City side, and that's going to give another step towards a safer community. For those of you that are watching from out in the Lyon County, Dayton area or the Mound House area, other alterations are taking place up there as well. But the barriers are probably not going to be used up in those areas because we have heavy residential and business areas all the way from Mound House down to Dayton. And so NDOT, the planners did a very good job of taking that into consideration. Those things, those businesses and those traffic patterns that are going to create the most safety without restricting businesses or residences. So I'm very pleased. I went up and I shook the hand of one of the foremen up there on the hill. The barriers are probably going to be completed on the Carson City side very, very shortly. And what that tells me is that somebody is not going to get hurt as a result of a head-on collision in the upcoming future, at least on the Carson City side. And so I want to thank the Department of Transportation, and I want to thank especially the Nevada Highway Patrol for engaging so heavily in this operation with us. It's been just over a year now, and in that year, along that highway path that we targeted, we have not had a head-on fatality, and I want to see that continue into the future. So things are going well. I briefed the board yesterday, along with Dr. Pentar, with the Board of Health, that we do have some challenges that we are facing in the future. Once again, our sexual assault response teams are met with a challenge that has been repeated over the last 12 years, and that's that Carson City does not have a facility or nurses to address sexual assaults. At this point in time, as the hospital has closed down its operations, victims of a sexual assault have to be transported up to Reno Sparks area in order to get their examinations. Folks, this is just unacceptable. Whether there be 1 or 100 sexual assaults in Carson City, we want to provide those best services for our victims that we possibly can. So raise your voice with me and encourage the hospital, encourage agencies. This is a fundamental responsibility of a community of our size, and we want to take charge and lead this path as we reform the team, either with the hospital or other agencies involved. It is very, very important. As of this morning, we've closed a final chapter, and maybe this is the right way to close down today. It was just about 18 months ago that Carson City suffered a horrific homicide. Some business folks had come in and checked on the welfare of one of their employees who had not showed up for work. They did contact the sheriff's office, and as a result of that, we found that there had been a significant event inside of an apartment. Within 48 hours, the sheriff's office, using businesses and residences to gain information and gain access to as much evidence as possible, within 48 hours, over a span of over 400 miles, we were able to take into custody the 4 suspects and recover Mr. McCune's body, which had been submerged in the river. This is a very, very happy day. The last suspect has pled guilty in the district court, and so we can put this chapter behind us. I do want to thank everyone who offered their assistance with the sheriff's office, not only locally, but up in Reno and Sparks, Washoe County, and including Clark County, where a Clark County Hasty law enforcement team was put together along with sheriff's deputies from Carson City to do an apprehension right down on the strip, where it's very crowded with tourists and businesses, and they did it with such expertise that they were capable of not endangering anybody, and everybody on the law enforcement side went home safe. On the suspect sides, they were processed down in Clark County, and within a week we had them transported back up here to Carson. So I'm very happy to report to you that episode is closed, and we can put it behind us and go forward from here. Again, please be cautious when you're driving. Be cautious of school zones. We are headed for a great year this year. but it takes this next 4 months to pull it all the way through. If you suspect suspicious activity, contact our dispatch center at 887-2014, just like the year. And I promise you on January 1st, we're going to add another line. It'll be 887-2015. We want that information. As we track these incidents all year long, what we find is that our most common response is not to crime, but it's to suspicious activity or annoyances in Carson that we really need to pay attention to. When we pay attention, we make it safer neighborhoods, we make our businesses safer for everyone, and we raise the quality of life here in Carson City. So thank you all very, very much for your assistance last year. Let's keep that drive on all the way through the upcoming year and celebrate our incoming new year in 2015. Thank you. From Sheriff Furlong in the Carson City Sheriff's Office.